Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sekarani Suteguh Putri. As the first speaker of the affirmative team, the motion of this debate is obesity in children is increasing because of parents' lack of control over their children, which consists of two affirmative or opposition speakers and two negative or proposition speakers. The problem of child nutrition in Indonesia is generally entails a double nutritional problem. This means that the problem of undernutrition has not been completely resolved, while the problem of overnutrition has emerged. Excess nutrition that cause obesity can occur in both children and adults. Parents, as people who are responsible for children's health, should take the initiative to provide all types of food. Moms have a greater opportunity to choose the type of food. Examples of factors that play a role in the occurrence of obesity are mostly the interaction between genetic factor and environmental factor, including physical activity, socioeconomic, and nutrition. Change in lifestyle cause change in knowledge, attitude, behavior, eating patterns, and the amount of food consumed. In addition, lifestyle change also reduces the frequency and intensity of physical activity. This decrease in physical activity can be seen from the decrease in the intensity of sport and games that use physical activity in children, replaced by electronic games. Based on World Health Organization data in 2008, more than 1.0 billion adults, young adults, and the elderly were overweight, and 42 billion children under the age of 5 years were overweight and obese in 2013. Developing countries, due to the absence of a comprehensive program, the prevalence of obesity has not changed much in the last 10 years. There is even a tendency to increase in some big cities. A multi-center study in 10 major cities in Indonesia for school-aged children show a prevalence of between 2.5% until 27%. Six Risks data in 2013, the prevalence of obesity in children aged 5 until 12 years nationally was 8.8%. 7. The prevalence of obesity in elementary school children in Manado ranged from 2.1% until 25%. In conclusion, early prevention is needed to reduce the prevalence rate in order to create better human resources. Parents need to pay more attention to children who are obese with preventive measures that can be started early, namely by monitoring the child's weight, giving healthy foods, commonly known as balanced nutrition, which must also be introduced to children from an early age, and other efforts, namely by getting children to exercise regularly. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Denada Yesika Rindiana Ekapaksi, speaking here as the first speakers of the negative team. The motion for today's debate, which has been before, is obesity children in increase because of parents' lack of control over their children. We disagree with the arguments delivered by the first affirmative speaker. Instead, we strongly believe that the motion of today's debate is wrong. The first speakers state that parents responsible for children's health and should initiate to give foods which considered be nutrition fulfilled. Therefore, they blamed parents for being careless in children's weight, which is actually unfair. Pointing the fingers of blame at parents for obesity in children is not wise. It's true that parents' feeding pattern is a major factor whether children is under overweight. But according to research conducted by University College London or UCL, parents determine the feeding styles for their children based on the natural weight and size of child, which is mainly genetical influence. The terms of obesity is complex and plagued by many great factors. You might ever heard there are people who have trouble and gaining weight even they have eaten recommended foods. But there are also people we can easily obese and bloat or even take a good care for their diet. From this case, we can see that people typically have their own unique metabolism. Not only private genetic and metabolic obesity, also caused by the food provided in the public. Parents have different type behavior in controlling their children. Some of them focus on the economic spec, fulfill their children's needs and welfare. So they all allocate their time to work and feed their children by buying food to achieve effectiveness. Sadly, most of them serve high-calorie and high-fat meals. Even 10% of people in ASEAN survey believe fast food companies in children obesity matters. In inclusion, I'm not agree with the motion which blame the parents for children obesity since there are more logical aspects that cause it. People should consider about the genetical issues and see the food's condition in the public. That's all the argument for me. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Pratiwi Firza Hafifah, who is the speaker of Positive Team. The motion for this debate is obesity in children is increasing due to lack of parental control over their children. We strongly agree with this motion and we do not agree with the negative of the team. I will explain the fact why we as a positive team agree to this motion. Being a parent is an important role in carrying out the upbringing of their children, one of which is by feeding their children. If you want your child to be healthy, then provide nutritious food and also control your children's eating habits. But on the other hand, there are some parents who underestimate this. They allow their children to eat whatever and as much as possible so that their children grow up healthy and develop, even though that is not true. According to Young, Norton, Lister, Drummond, and O'Brien in Jang and Whitmore 2014, one of the main strategies to prevent or treat childhood obesity is to target the family environment. Family, especially parents, have a major influence on the development of children's healthy related to their lifestyle, especially in this day and age where traditional food are rarely found. And what stands out is fast food such as pizza, burgers, hot dog, where this food will have a bad impact on children if too often. Unhealthy foods like that will affect the nutrition development of children. And many parents allow their children to eat unhealthy foods such as fast food even until their children get used to unhealthy foods. It is very rare for parents to give food such as vegetable or fruits to children, or because children are used to unhealthy food, so that they do not like vegetables or the like. Because of the importance of obesity problem is it is necessary to control the obesity rate. One way is to identify and control the existing risk factor. The risk of obese people is not controlling their diet and what food is eaten, as parents must be able to control their children's eating so that obesity does not occur. Parents must be smart and have tricks so that children want to eat healthy food, so that children's nutrition can be balanced and not make them obsessed. In conclusion, I agree with this obesity, which has can effect on parenting parents. Parents can also be called wrong because parents have an important role in education children, especially food for their children. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Salma Sukma. I'm here as a second negative speaker. In the motion, obesity in children is increasing due to the lack of parental control over their children. I firmly state that I can't agree with the motion and the statement issued by the affirmative speakers because I stand in several factors about obesity in children. Fat children are adorable and cute, but this condition means can give a risk for health, such as obesity, and surely would give a bad impact in future life. The problem of obesity is not only verging in adults. Children who caught in problem of obesity is mostly occurs at early age and no longer can be calculated. It means too many cases that happened. As usually happens, children are too lazy to do exercise in daily life. By using gadgets, children will take advantage of their time by playing it while laying on the bed rather than do an exercise. Eating too much and not balanced with physical activity also not good for health. Lack of physical activity make a whole of calories beyond calories burned, so it will trigger obesity. The second factor is upstream obese families. That children have high potential for excess weight. If one of the parents is obese, the chance of the children being obese are 40 up to 50%, and if both parents suffer from obesity, the chance of heredity 70 up to 80%. For the last is environment factor, which children consume a lot of instant food or junk food and soft drink at the outside home without parental consent. Environmental factors can change children with normal gene into obesity and vice versa. According to the Director of Public Nutrition at the Ministry of Health, obesity is caused by three factors: behavior, environment, and genetic. 10 to 30% of genetic factors and environmental factors, and the behavior up to 70%. Behavior and environment factor are different and not concerned with parenting factor. So, the factor lead overweight and obesity in children is became multi-factor. It's not about wrong parenting, but it is generally triggered by inappropriate lifestyle such as diet, lack of exercise, or even genetic factors. So, I think that's enough from me. Thank you.